How we doing? Good to see y'all after a win. Things feel a lot better when you win. So it was good to finally get a win and do it in front of our fans. That was awesome. It was a great crowd and it was as loud as I remembered it. So, any questions?
What do you think has just been working in terms of protecting Kirk? It was another day where he did not find himself on his back too often.
Yeah, Coach Kubiak had a great game plan. He has had a great game plan the last 3 weeks. Like we all said and we all talked about, the penalties hurt us week 1, but I think he's done an awesome job. Him and Kirk are really in sync right now. Thought we were balanced. That always helps out too. And then just hammering the technique. Coach Rauscher and Coach Steele have done a good job. We're working hard on Wednesday through Friday leading up to the game and taking individual really seriously and hammering technique and making sure our hands are inside and doing what we're supposed to, because when Kirk has a clean pocket, we all see how good he can be. So it was a good team win. I thought defense, 0 points in the second half. That's awesome. I think Coach Kubiak said we had 22 minutes of time of possession in the second half, and that's awesome. I mean, if we can stay out there and just run the ball and play action, and it was a lot of fun. Alex Madison, that was an unbelievable game. It was fun to see him step up because he's been ready for this since he's been here. He's an unbelievable player. So it was a great team win.
He said yesterday there was a little bit of vengeance that field, just considering the 4th and 1 last year in Seattle, and that he was kind of communicating that with the O-line. What was that like for you guys, for him to kind of break through and do what he did yesterday, considering what happened last year against Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, we all know what he does in space. I mean, he puts people on the ground and runs really hard, and so we put that on us as an O-line. Like, let's just get him to the second level, because when we do, he's going to make people miss. Everyone in that running back room, Amir, I think he averaged 5 yards per carry, so he stepped up too. So Coach Palomalo does a great job with those running backs. C.J. Ham played a phenomenal game. I mean, there were some unbelievable blocks he had on the second level on those linebackers. So it was a combination of the game plan and the mentality that those guys have in that running backs room led to a good day.
Does doing what he did yesterday give this offense confidence that if Dalvin does have an injury, he can't play through, that you guys don't have to change too much of your identity in the run game of what you want to do because you have Madison?
Yeah, we've always known we've had Madison. Dalvin is a special running back, and Alex is too, but it's kind of just the next man up mentality. It's what you have to have in the NFL because it is a 17-game regular season. So, and he definitely had that mentality, and he's been waiting for that, and it was fun to see him shine.
Garrett, after you guys got off to a bit of a tough start against Cincinnati, how do you feel about just the way this offense has evolved over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think the tough start was in large part due to the penalties. We were just shooting ourselves in the foot. Coach Kubiak's done a great job the first 3 weeks. We didn't help him the first game, but I think we all stood up here after week 1 and we're like, this can be a great offense. We have the players, we have the coaches, the scheme. And I think you saw a glimpse of that. There's still areas to improve on. I think we can be better in the red zone. I think we can finish with touchdowns. But I think when you see those glimpses of it, it gives you confidence and you just want to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, you guys are now 4th in the NFL in total offense. Just how good can this offense be this year?
Just got to take it 1 week at a time. Like I said, the areas to improve, the red zone, and there's some other things. Build off the good, but I'm excited about the guys that we have in the room, coaches and players.
Garrett, Kirk's really worked on not only his mobility, but everything. He's always had accuracy. What do you see this year as the biggest thing that you think he's really taken to the next level?
I think Kirk's kind of the same guy. He doesn't let himself get too high or too low, and I think that's what makes him so great, because there's some ups and downs throughout every NFL season, and he's unbelievable. I mean, some of the things he does, some of the passes he makes. There was a 3rd down and 5 to KJ that he hit where they pressured us from the left, and he knew he had to drop back, and he kind of just threw it, knowing where his guy was going to be. And I mean, that's a big time play. That was huge. I think we got the ball with 11 minutes starting that drive and ended with a field goal with like 4 minutes left or something like that. So to drive down there and hit that 3rd and 5 and extend the series, that was awesome. I mean, that just gives everyone confidence when you see your quarterback playing like he's playing. It's fun.
Are screens an offensive lineman's favorite pass play? How good was it to get those going?
Yeah, it was huge. That was kind of part of the game plan going into the week. And like I said, when we get Alex Madison out in space, any of those running backs, good things are going to happen. So it was good to help those guys out in space. We can't cut out there anymore, so hopefully we're not looking too unathletic. But yeah, it was a big part of our success yesterday. I think that slowed the pass rush down a little bit too. Just staying balanced, and I think that was Coach Kubiak's thing. I mean, we hit him in screen game, run game, play action, drop back. So you had him guessing quite a bit. But I think, like I said, Coach Kubiak dialed up a great game.
Do you see things coming together more and more for Ole every week?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got there's no ceiling for him. I mean, he can be as good as he wants to be, and he's got all the tangibles, and his mindset this year has been unlike anything I've seen in the last 3 years. You know, I think he was kind of pinned as a tackle his first 2 years, and then bumped into guard this year. And you know, he's versatile. He's got all the tools, and he's definitely got the mindset this year. So it's been fun to play with him, and I've been with him for 3 years, so I'm good friends with him and know who he is and how he works, and it's fun to see him having the success he's having.
Garrett, how has some of the pre-snap motion you guys have used changed things for the offensive line, just in terms of trying to set up run plays when their front changes and they're moving guys around? How does that help you guys out on some of the downhill runs you've hit off of that?
Yeah, it's huge. That's kind of Coach Kubiak and Coach Rauscher's thing, dialing up with run game coordinator and all the run install that we have. Some of that goes over our heads in terms of the motions and stuff, but we know that the adjustments that they're making, they're great. We ran the ball really well throughout the whole game, and they kept making good adjustments. So.
The last couple of years, the Vikings had some of the longest times to throw in the NFL. This year, they're one of the fastest in times to throw through 3 weeks. As an offensive lineman, how do you react to that change in the offense?
Yeah, you know, it's not our job to think about when the ball is getting out. Our job is just however long he's back there, we got to protect for him. So whether it's 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, it's our job to keep him clean. And so we know that he's going to make the right decision. He's going to go through all his reads, whether it's on the first read, the second read, or if he's got to go through his progression or scramble out. We just got to keep blocking until we hear a whistle, until we see the ball thrown.
When the play is called, you have an idea of kind of how quickly Kubiak wants that ball out based off of like the drop back, right?
Yeah. We understand like how many steps his drop is, or certain progressions, or yeah, definitely.
Have you noticed that some of the plays have like a quicker drop back or a quicker intended sort of ball out?
I mean, like I said, if the first progression's open and Kirk sees it, he's hitting it. And I think Kirk does a great job at understanding, you know, where he's hot. If they're bringing pressure, he knows where his first answer is, his second, his third. And so it's all about him. I mean, where he needs to get through his progression. And we just, like I said, give him the time that he needs to do it.
Garrett, what was it like to see some of the guys like Ezra or Justin, like some of the guys who were rookies last year? I know they had preseason games in US Bank Stadium, but their first regular season kind of atmosphere. Yeah,
Ezra definitely had some chills. I mean, we all did. His first call chant, that was pretty cool. And the regular season is just a little bit different than the preseason. I think Justin said something about how loud it was. It was awesome. I mean, some of those third downs, that, like I said, that first call chant, it's fun to be back in the home stadium.
And then I know you do take every game one at a time, but how nice is it to not only get that first win, but also to kind of start a 3 home game stand here?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, I think it's definitely an advantage in US Bank with the fans that we have, and we're excited. I mean, like you said, 1 week at a time, but not having to travel and staying with our fans, that's awesome. It's a big advantage.
I know you were a rookie when Kevin Stefanski was the offensive coordinator here. Here he's got real dry wit. Humor hits only a certain. I guess you have to like know. So do you have any like good like Kevin Stefanski story just about like that aspect of how we kind of can relate to guys and you know what it was like having him here?
I don't know if I have to think about stories, but Coach Stefanski was awesome. He's a brilliant coach. He knows the offense in and out, and he was great for me my rookie year as a coach, just helping me out. And you know, he's a great guy, and he's loved in this building. He was here for a long time, so it'll be good to see him back in the stadium on Sunday.
How interesting of a matchup you think it'll be, because Stefanski knows so much about the Vikings, but then on the other side of the coin, you guys know so much about what Stefanski likes to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the NFL. The coaching trees kind of branch out, and I'm only in year 3, but I see players and coaches on the other sidelines that I was with at some point. It's just part of it. So we just have to focus on execution and doing what we do.
I know that you don't match up directly against Danielle Hunter in practice, but you've seen him here. I mean, just did you guys have a sense in training camp for like what he was going to do once he got back on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. Danielle's a freak. I mean, he's one of the best pass rushers, if not the best pass rusher in the NFL. And I think that makes us better as an O-line. I mean, when our tackles go against him every day, I mean, you're not going to see anything better on Sundays. So, I mean, the kind of iron sharpens iron kind of thing. So it's great for us. It's awesome to see. And it's no surprise when you see the success he has. So it's good to see him back after a year off, but he's just picking up right where he left off.
Along that theme, how good is it to see Everson Griffin, kind of looking like the old Everson Griffin?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's another guy that just produces and gets on the field and he's going to make plays. He's an energy for the locker room. He's a veteran presence. He's a great guy in the locker room. It's good to have him back. He's awesome.
You didn't have to deal with him too much as an inside rusher, in 2019. This year he's doing a lot more of that. So what have you seen from him as in that 3 technique role?
Yeah, I mean, he's still got it. His spin move is still beating tackles and guards across the NFL. And he's definitely still got that step to him. I mean, like I said, he's still a great player. He's still producing and making plays, and he's done it for a long time, so happy to have him back.